If you have arthritis in your wrists, I'm going to show you a home exercise that you could do to stretch your wrist and make it feel absolutely wonderful. I give this to patients and I'm going to show it to you here today for free. So let's go into a treatment room and I'll show you how this is done. This may sound really complex, but I'm going to make it super easy so you can start doing this immediately. The first thing that you need to understand is when you're talking about your wrist, there are a tremendous amount of bones that can have arthritis. And what we're talking about is the arthritic joint between the bone right here, called the radius, and there's two main bones on the outside here that connect your hand to the radial bone. And that is the scaphoid and the lunate. And the scaphoid and lunate are the place where I find when I analyze patients and I take x-rays, we see this is the area where the most amount of arthritis occurs. And we're not talking about comparing the fingers. People get arthritis in the fingers as well, but I'm specifically talking about the radiocarpal joint right there. This is a very beneficial stretch to do, but you need to understand what you're doing is you're going to have a fulcrum where you're going to stabilize the radius and be tractioning the scaphoid and the lunate. Now, I've experimented with very different ways of doing this, and this is what I've found that is easiest for the majority of people, but there are different ways of doing this. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to grab your middle finger and your ring finger, and you're going to grab it with one hand like this. And then you will be tractioning it this way. So we need something to stabilize here, so when you pull, you get most of the traction of that area. So I'm going to set up the camera and show you exactly how to do this. What you're going to do is put your foot up on a chair or a table, and you're going to do that thing that I just told you about where your middle finger and your ring finger are being tractioned by this hand. But what you'll do is you'll take your radial bone and you'll put it across the bottom part of your kneecap. And so what happens is that way you can kind of just stabilize that, and then the wrist will be a little bit in flexion or bent forward like this. So as I just hold my radius here and pull these fingers, you will feel a traction right at that point in the wrist. Now what's happening is you're taking the bones and you're tractioning them apart. You need to do this for repetitions. So you're not really going for a cracking sensation or an audible release of the joint. You're trying to stretch the ligaments that hold the bones together, that become fibrotic, and stretching them long enough so that they will become more flexible. And when you do this, it's in somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20 to 30 repetitions. So I'm just pulling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll just do this repeatedly for about 30 repetitions. Now, it's going to give you some relief in your wrist, and it's going to be temporary. So you do it twice a day. But here's the interesting thing. If you repeatedly do this over a period of time, it improves the health of the joint. Sure, in the meantime, it's giving you pain relief, but over time, you're allowing the ligaments of the capsule of the wrist to stretch and become more pliable. This allows the joint to move better. And one of the best things you could do for osteoarthritis of a joint is have proper movement. By getting the wrist adjusted, by getting laser therapy, by doing massage, by doing all these things that help. Sometimes we use ultrasound. These things help with arthritis. However, the continuous stretching of the capsule over a period of time can allow the joint to move better and be beneficial for the damaged cartilage that's the underlying reason why you're getting pain in osteoarthritis.